Have you ever struggled with depression or anxiety and not know what to do? Have you ever been consumed by racing thoughts and it caused you to feel sad and depressed?
Would you like to learn how to find a sense of peace right now in the present moment? Well, today we're going to teach you about the key to mental health, which is meditation. And at the end, we're going to lead you through a meditation experience so that you can experience peace right now in the moment.
Welcome to I Have a Voice. My name's HollyKem Sunseri, and this is my movie star husband, Dean Sunseri.
And we're going to talk about what is meditation before we get into why it's a key to mental health. And not only we're going to talk about meditation, but also we're going to touch on the word mindfulness because it's a crossover. It's another way of saying meditation. But what is meditation? It's the practice of focused concentration and awareness to bring you into the present moment.
You're good at focus. Why are you so good at focus?
I lived at a monastery for 2.5 years, or at a school at a monastery. So that was part of the training. And what meditation can do is it can quiet your mind, it can relax your body, and it can promote really inner peace.
Yep, you're good at that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Now the buzzword in psychological circles is, for a number of years, has been mindfulness. And mindfulness is just a word to describe a form of meditation. And it's the practice of non-judgmental awareness of what's going on in the present. So it's thinking about what is your thoughts right now in the present, how you're feeling emotionally, or even bodily sensations, awareness of your body. And so mindfulness, meditation, they're really the same word. It's just one's used in psychological circles, the other one's used in spiritual circles. But it's really the same practice. And what they both have in common is it's about becoming aware of what? The present moment. Yeah.
That's right.
So what is mental health? Mental health is a person's emotional, psychological, or spiritual well-being. It's like functioning in society in a fulfilling and life-giving way. So it's the ability to function in the present without psychological torment. Have you ever experienced psychological torment?
Yes, I have.
Or anxious paralysis.
I've also experienced that. And the thing is that right now in our world, not just the United States, but our world is much anxiety.
Yeah.
And much psychological torment.
Yeah. So there's a lot of techniques psychologically to deal with that stuff. But one of the keys to dealing with that is meditation. So let's look a little closer at the two major enemies of mental health is depression and anxiety.
Yeah.
So what is depression? Depression is when your mind or emotions or your spirit is stuck in the past.
It's easy to do too.
Yeah, it's typically a difficult, a painful experience that you have had which has not been resolved, affects you in the present.
Right. And that's what we need to do, a show on triggers.
Yeah.
If you've been in any type of, self-awareness, you kind of know what that word means. But when we get triggered, which means we get an emotional bullet shot to us, and it reminds us what's happening in the moment, but it reminds us of something that happened in the past, is when we can get really stuck here.
Right. And you can have that trigger and you can remember what it is, but sometimes you don't remember it, you just feel it, right?
You just feel it. And it looks like the person in front of you.
Yes.
And it's war.
Especially when it's your spouse, right?
Exactly. It's the person that can trigger you the most.
Yes. So what are some examples that can cause depression? It could be the death of a loved one and the longing and the sadness of not having them. It could be a traumatic experience, and that's where a lot of triggers come from. It could be an unresolved relationship, an unresolved breakup or something that's still impacting you today, and it's something that happened in the past. So in general, depression is when your mind, your thoughts, your emotions, your spirit is stuck where?
Back there.
Back there.
And anxiety is when your mind, emotions, and spirit are stuck in a negative story in the future. So it's a negative story that becomes a torment and often creates inhibitions or paralysis. So at this point, what we're looking at is that something hasn't happened yet, but we create this story that this is what's going to happen. And then all of a sudden, we're stuck in the future because now I need to block off everything before this thing happens. That's never happened yet.
Yeah. Yeah. So if depression is your mind and your heart and your spirit stuck in the past, anxiety is when you're stuck in the future, the solution is to be where?
In the present.
In the present.
If this is anybody that you know that's been stuck in the past or the future, or is stuck in the past and the future, we invite you to invite them to subscribe to our channel so they can be on this journey for freedom.
Yeah. So what is the goal of meditation? Just like we said,
Yeah.
it's to be where?
In the present.
In the present.
For me, it's like when I think of that word, the present is like getting a gift. If I give my son a gift, if we give him a gift, he stops what he's doing, whatever it is. If he's thinking about the past or he's in the future or whatever's happening or he's on Xbox, he gets in the present right there in the moment and he opens it. So the present is truly a gift to me and to you. And this is something that we do need a lot of practice in, because that's how we miss when somebody says they were married for 50 years and their children are older now, and they just kind of reminisce and they go, I really regret not being there for my children. Well, you were at their games, you worked hard, you put them through school, you did all the things, but what they're really talking about is that when I was in the room with them,
I wasn't present.
I wasn't present.
That's
I
good.
wasn't the gift.
There was a study done recently. I don't remember the study, but it basically said they were analyzing people's consciousness. And at about 45% of the time, they're not in the present.
Wow, I believe
They're
that.
either in the past or in the future, and they're not presently here.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're talking about, that our freedom, our mental health is found right here in the present.
Yeah.
And so when we look at meditation, there's two types of meditation, or I say two stages of meditation.
Yeah.
One is what we would call natural meditation, which is becoming aware of yourself, right? It's becoming aware of what my thoughts are right now, how I'm feeling, being aware of bodily sensations. And the first stage of meditation is actually a very self-centered stage, because I'm becoming aware of what? Myself.
It's kind of like a toddler. Everything's me, 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 and they know exactly. I mean, they may not be able to verbalize with words, but they're definitely in the present.
Yeah.
Like you touch them in the beginning of awareness. You touch them, oh, they're right here, right now.
Right.
And then through the growth of that is being not just that present like that, but also being awake to my presence in the present.
Yes.
Would that make sense?
Yes, it makes a lot of
Okay.
sense. And so natural meditation is about the self, which is very important because it can
Yes.
help pull you out of the future and pull you out of the past
Exactly.
into the present, and can be very beneficial. The problem with it
You
is
can
that
become like a toddler.
it could facilitate massive narcissism.
Exactly, like
right?
a toddler. Because
Right.
a toddler is narcissist, if you want to put a word on it. I mean, you describe a toddler, you're describing a narcissist, right?
Right.
Because everything is mine, everything is me, me, pick me up, I want to eat, me. So, yeah, if you stay that way at 45, 55, you've been called a narcissist.
Yeah. The second stage,
Yeah.
which is not only yourself, it's what we call spiritual meditation,
Yeah.
which is becoming aware of the spirit dimension and becoming aware of God.
Yes.
And so stage one's important, but so is stage two, because stage one takes us from being self-centered to stage two, which becomes other-centered.
Yeah.
And then that's the part about fulfilling our purpose, because we become givers. We're trying to line ourselves up with what we believe God's telling us. The highest form of meditation is actually spiritual meditation. Natural meditation leads us into spiritual meditation.
Right.
So we want to take you on an exercise today
Yeah.
to experience this. We're going to take you through stage one, natural meditation, get you centered in yourself, and then move you into stage two, which we would call spiritual meditation, and help you have an experience of that, and to pull you out of the past, to pull you out of the future, and bring you right here
Yeah.
in the present.
Let's do it.
You ready?
I want to do it.
Now share this with a friend
Yes.
that's stuck in the past or the future, so that it'll be able to help them go through
Yes.
the same experience. So I want you to be aware of your body right now. Get into a relaxed position if you're driving or whatever. Just have some self-awareness while you're
Don't
driving.
close your eyes if you're driving.
I want you to be aware of your body. I want you to be aware of any sensations in your body that are any tension, say in your arms or in your legs. I want you to be aware of any tension in your torso, your stomach area, your chest, your shoulders, perhaps your head. I want you to be aware of whatever objects are touching your body and have a sensitivity to awareness of perhaps if your eyes open, what you're seeing, what you're hearing, my voice, any other noises you're hearing right now. I want you to have an awareness of any smells, any taste, whether you're warm or cold, how you're feeling. I want you to be aware of your clothes on your skin. I want you to be aware right now of any emotions that you might be experiencing. Just notice them. It might be sadness, it might be joy, it might be excitement, it might be anger. Just be aware of those emotions without any judgment. I want you to be aware of your breath. I want you to breathe in right now. Take a deep breath, breathing in all the way and holding it, and breathing out slowly. Be aware of the breath going out, breathing in. Hold it, and push it out slowly. I want you to be aware of any thoughts that you're having right now. It may be something I said that you're thinking about. It might be a task that you need to do. It might be something that happened that you're thinking about. Just be aware of the thought and just let it pass through your mind, in and out, without grabbing hold of it. And now you're moving into a place of awareness of yourself. And we're going to move into stage 2, which is awareness of the spirit realm, the awareness of God. And the way we're going to do it is a very simple meditation technique, which is to meditate on a spiritual writing. What you can do is get a spiritual, rich, treasury trove book that has spiritual writings, and you can read those and grab hold of one of the phrases and meditate on. So I'm going to use a phrase that Jesus said. He said to love your enemies. That's a big one.
It's a big one.
And we're going to grab hold of that, and we're going to meditate on that. So I want you to see that being spoken to you in your spirit, the word love your enemies. And I want you to see in your mind's eye or think about, what does it mean for you to love? You might see images of being kind. You might see it as giving a positive word or encouragement to somebody. You might see yourself embracing them, touching them affectionately. You might see it as just giving a smile. What does it mean for you to love? And I want you to meditate on that right now. And we're going to move you into meditating on the challenging part. I want you to imagine your enemy. Who is your enemy?
Pick one.
It could be a political enemy. If you're on one side of the aisle, it's probably someone on the other side of the aisle. It could be a family member. It could be a neighbor. It could be a business rival. It could be an estranged relationship. I want you to see that person right now, and I want you to meditate on what it would look like for you to be loving that person right now. I want you to experience in your mind and your heart the experience of you loving that enemy and seeing them respond, and just chew on what that looks like and see it, meditate on it, think about it. Go over and over and over with it again and again. Now, as you do that, I want you to come back to HollyKem and I and focus on us. And we just took you through a very simple experience of meditation. You became aware of yourself, and then you became aware of something spiritually being communicated to you, and you meditating. In the Old Testament, the word meditation means to murmur over and over again. So meditation is a very active principle in the Judeo-Christian tradition. It's to think about a spiritual thought and just chew on it throughout the day. Love your enemies. You could have your alarm go off every 2 hours, and the alarm says, a reminder, love your enemy. It becomes a reminder as you're going through your day. That's what meditation is you take this spiritual thought and you start integrating it into your everyday life.
Right.
And you start to practice it. If you practice spiritual teachings, it becomes activated in your life. If you just think about them without practicing them, it just makes you more religious. Not in a good way.
Right.
So meditation is about grabbing hold of it, chewing on it, practicing it, and having it activated in your life.
Yeah.
You must be pretty mellowed out right
I
now
am.
because you're very rarely speechless.
I did the meditation.
You did the meditation.
Yes.
I'll make sure that this is stamp marked and you can go back to using this meditation over and over again. Look, we want to give you a recommended resource today. In the Western world, in our culture, a treasury of spiritual truth is actually in the Bible. And so we're recommending that you get yourself a Bible if you don't have one. If you do, take it off the shelf and open
Dust
it.
off.
And look for spiritual truths that speak to you and let that become part of your meditation. We recommend this particular Bible, the New American Bible. It's a great translation. If you would like to get one, I'll have a link in the description for you. But it's a really good English translation that's easy to understand. And I would say get that Bible out, read through it till you get hold of a spiritual truth, and then meditate on it and start to apply it in your life.
Yes.
Secondly, what we recommend is we did a video on how to use meditation to overcome anxiety. And it gives you 3 techniques on how to overcome anxiety. If you struggle with anxiety, you know someone that struggles with anxiety, send this video to them.
Yeah.
But if it's you, go ahead and click on it now and we will.
Yeah. See you in the next video.
God bless.